This exercise is the overhead squat. This one can be a lot more challenging for most people because they don't have the mobility in the lower body or the upper body to keep that position. So I always say start a little wider, like a Y, as opposed to something straight up. If you had a barbell, you would be about here. Okay, you'd be a little bit wider. So start with this first, really squeezing the shoulder blades back. And as we come into that squat, you're noticing that the shins and the arms should be at about the same angle. So seeing here and here as I come down, a lot of times people will start to bend forward. That means that they have, tightness in the shoulders, the lats, or the hip flexors, or the calves. So there's a lot of different tightness that can affect that mobility and the range of motion. So when we're doing an overhead squat, start with no weight first and just making sure we can get that range of motion. And again, you're going with what feels comfortable. If this is your range of motion, that's okay to start. Start with that. Don't try to go deeper and compromise your form. So start with where you're comfortable. Maybe it's here, maybe it's further down. Whatever works for you. Then later you can start with 2 weights. Start light first, whatever feels more comfortable, coming down into that overhead squat, or you may even have a single weight. Now the arms are closer together. This might be a little bit more challenging to get that range of motion, and that's okay. Just make sure you're not compromising your form. Again, anything that's overhead, we're locking out the arms, setting the shoulders in place. So squeeze the lats down, your shoulder blades down, keeping the core engaged. And we're gonna sit into that squat. Keeping the head forward, arms forward. You can even start to alternate opposite. And I would suggest starting with a small range of motion so that you don't compromise the form as well. But those are a few options for overhead squats when you don't have a barbell.